hostage, monsters, mariners, Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Lucky number 17. Has anybody ever said that before?
I don't know. That's Mitch Haniger's number.
Okay. All right. Fine. Whoever the fuck that is.
Just a stud, plays for the Mariners.
I know. You're probably pumped about the Mariners.
Really jacked.
Yes. And we're going to talk more about the Mariners a little bit later in the show, aren't we?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, when this comes out, I might be really sad or I might be really happy.
That's true.
Because this is before the playoffs game.
That's right. I'm Joe Paisley.
And I'm Brian Olbrand.
And welcome to Can You Don't? We didn't plan that, but it's built into our brains or burned into our brains from our promo that we had to make for the show.
When did we shoot those?
Long time ago. Months ago. Big thank you. A lot of ding, ding, dings in the email coming in from new Patreon supporters. Just, I don't know what I said. But you can become a silly goose as well, or you can become a super silly goose. Or a super duper silly goose. Go check it all out. Patreon.com/CanYouDon'tPodcast. Link in the episode description. I think we're going to get back to confessions next week. Because my God, you guys, the ones you guys are sending in are so fucking funny.
We could make a whole show just in confessions, I think.
Absolutely could. Send that in along with your petty beefs or whatever else you have that you want to see on the show and you want to hear us take our take on it. heyguys@canyouDon'tPodcast.com. And yes, continue to send in things that will help Brian learn how to read. Because I am getting a kick out of this. And
I think I'm getting worse.
It's because it's getting in your head.
Well, it is getting in my head. I can hear thousands of people laughing on the other end when I'm reading. They're all going to laugh at you.
They're all going to laugh at you. You're dumb.
I just start reading. I start going too fast, and I get caught up. I swear I learned how to read.
But God, I just love it. So keep sending those in too, because if anybody's laughing, I'm for sure laughing every time you get those in. Before we get into some updates from last week's show, I got a letter.
That's not from a lawyer or something, is it?
No, those are gone. We've already been through all that. This is from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security.
Oh, even better. Okay.
And if you listened to last week's episode, then you have an idea of what I'm talking about. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it says here, Dear Joseph Paisley, on or about September 22nd, 2022, the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, SeaTac, you presented yourself and your accessible property for inspection. During the screening process, the following item was discovered. 1, Switchblade knife, which I will point out, they put Switchblade as 2 words, it's 1. So, government fail.
Yeah.
Your possession of this item violates 49 Code of Federal Regulations.
Wait, 49 things?
49 code. Okay. I don't know. 49 code.
49
CFR,
rules.
and a bunch of numbers, no one cares, of your transportation security regulations. When I first opened this, I was concerned that I was probably going to get in big trouble. However, what they did is they gave me a warning. So thank you very much. But they took away, I cannot do any sort of TSA pre-check. All my shit has to get checked from now forward until I can test it. I don't fly enough at the moment to care that much about it, but thank you to the Homeland Security Office for sending that in. And I mentioned that while I was sitting in the airport, I bought a Switchblade, a new one, which probably wasn't very smart of me because I was using their internet. Yeah, I was like, fuck you guys. Because they took it, so I was sitting there and I just bought another one.
If they're monitoring your phone, that'd be hilarious.
I know. But again, I'm in Idaho, so it's all good over here. They said if I do it again, I get in big trouble. So shame on me. However, I bought a Switchblade and I thought I was buying the same one. Do you have your Switchblade? Because last week you had it. Okay. Or last week you thought you had it, but now
it's attached to my bag, yeah.
Okay, so there it is. That's the sound of the Switchblade. This is the Switchblade I thought I was buying. It has a 3-inch blade?
Yeah, and it's fits in the palm of my hand.
Okay,
so closed.
Check this out.
Oh my God. What?
So I accidentally...
It's like the size of my penis.
Yeah, I accidentally bought one that's twice as big. It has a 5-inch fucking blade. Look at... if you're watching on YouTube. Pop that baby out. Let's take it. Let's see. Listen to the sound.
Oh, it's got recoil.
I know.
Let's see mine. Okay.
Boom.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
And then, you can feel that.
I know.
That's insane. Let's see. Your blade is the same length as the whole of the handle
of the other knife. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot. Anyway, so I accidentally bought a gigantic Switchblade.
I'm gonna switch with you.
Switchblade with me.
Yeah,
you get it.
You're gonna Switchblade.
But that was it. That's the conclusion of hopefully this Switchblade saga. And we can all
Switchblade
continue.
Saga. That's a good band name.
It is, or like a sweet movie.
Yeah,
a Quentin Tarantino movie. But the Switchblade Saga.
Serenade.
And then we have some updates.
Hold on, real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I guess I didn't get this from before. Why did you go to Seattle to fly?
I didn't. That's just where the warning came from.
Oh, okay.
So I guess Spokane doesn't have a department that handles this shit. So for the state of Washington, I'm guessing the office was based out of Seattle.
For the people that don't know the area, I just assumed he was in Spokane, which apparently he was. But then for a second, I was thinking he drove past
the
airport and drove 4 hours to another to Seattle to fly.
And you find out it was for I could save $60.
Yeah, so and to drive just to go like an hour south?
Yeah, it's a 45-minute flight.
Yeah,
down to Boise. So that
4-hour drive,
then fly back over.
Oh my god!
And then you were asking about like pickup fucking protocol for car crashes.
Yeah,
and we got some emails about that.
Yeah, well, I got a couple that we can try to read here.
All right.
All right. Hey, fuckers.
Hey.
I'm not entirely sure what the protocol for cleanup is, but it seems that the crew sweeps it to the side and fucks off where I live. I live close to the road and right in front of an intersection. In the 6 years I have lived here, there have been over 20 accidents. He's counting them.
That's fun, though. That's entertainment.
Yeah.
Unless
You
they
hear a
all
smash,
die,
you just come running, yeah. Mm-hmm. I live in Blacksburg, where a lot of college kids live, so texting and driving that leads to cars getting rear-ended a lot. Mm-hmm. I come home and find debris in my yard and drive all the way, and driveway all the time.
Okay.
I have to clean that shit up myself, often when I get back from doing my fucking job, just to do someone else's job. It's fun picking out glass from the gravel and grass so I don't puncture a tire or have a dog injure himself. I have ran out to help multiple times, and I'm afraid that one day I might have to clean up body parts. So please remind the dummies to stop fucking texting while driving.
Gotcha.
Thanks for making me laugh, Brady Rhodes.
It's a sweet name for talking about car crashes.
Yeah, and on Rhodes, to have
your last name be Rhodes?
Right in there.
Okay, so he is on your team. He didn't know basically what happens. He just knows that he has to clean it up.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
Because I've driven over the shit all the time, and I'm like, did I just pop a tire?
Right. Am I stranded now? Hey, what's that?
Coffee.
Cool. Okay, read the other one. Because I don't know what this email's about either.
Hey, daddies.
Hey.
I'm turned on already. My husband is on the volunteer fire department in our small town of less than 2,000 people in northeast South Dakota.
It's a lot of directions. Northeast, south, western.
Northeast. It is. Almost. We're all just missing west.
Northeast, south, western Dakota.
What if she lived in a state called West and she was from
West
northeast,
Dakota.
Southwest?
Or the town of West? That'd be fucking great.
Town of West. There you go. When they get called to the scene of a vehicle accident, after all the vehicle occupants are taken care of and the police have released the scene, the fire department, are in charge of the cleanup, sweeping up glass, moving large pieces of vehicle out of the way, etc. I can't speak for a large city or area, but that's how we roll. Keep up the awesome work. Love your middle child that always gets left behind at Walmart and you don't realize until you've already gotten home. Chelsea.
No, sorry about that. That was one time, Chelsea. Come on. Let it go.
I had my hands full.
I love how I just love the idea. She said, of course, once the occupants are taken care of, but I love like a pull up. Bodies are obviously fucked, and there's just someone like being like, sorry, they have a broom, so they don't help out the bodies. Like, let me out. Like, nope. And his job is only sweeping glass
because he's part of a union.
He's like, no, the fire department does that job. I'm not open. I'm at the hearse on fire. I can't. Shh. And you like drag their bumper off the road.
I guess if the bodies were dead, could you imagine sweeping up like arms and limbs into a pile?
Honey swept up a whole bunch of fingers today. Yeah, that'd be a fucking terrible job.
I don't know how. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a middle ground we should be able to find here, right? Like,
it does sound like something the fire department would do.
Does it?
Kind of.
To me, it sounds like it's like the It's like the Department of Transportation or something that should dispatch a van out or something like that. Because don't they do that with roadkill and stuff?
Yeah. Like or whatever dog catcher, like that type of job, but not dog catcher when he's not busy, has to go clean up bumpers. No, but you know what I mean, like a dedicated. You don't think a big, depending on the size of the city, obviously you need a bigger one. But yeah, it just seems so weird to just not give a fuck and move on. I don't know, it's weird.
It's weird.
But
Yeah,
it definitely
it's weird that
happens
there's
everywhere.
not like it's cordoned off or something like that. This is like put it in a pile and at least put a thing like, hey, don't run this over and just leave it. I have another question. I just mentioned the Department of Transportation and sending out like roadkill shit.
Yeah.
Whenever you see like a dead deer or dead animal, it's always on the side of the road. It's never in the middle. Do people? I've never hit an animal or anything. Do people pull up, stop, and drag it off to the side, and then go out their business, wait for someone to pick it up? Because it's never in the middle of the road. It's always on the side.
Yeah, it's. I think I've had friends growing up in the mountain towns. I don't know how I haven't hit a deer. I feel like everybody I know has hit a deer. Or a fucking moose or cantaloupe or bear has hit something at least once. But you're right. And if it's not them, but a lot of you're not normally smashing a deer and then just carrying on with your life, right? So you're hitting it, you're slamming on the brakes, and then I guess you have to call somebody and you get that shit out of the road so someone else doesn't hit it. But it's not your job to take it. I think it's illegal to take it. You have to get confirmation to take like a deer off the side of the road. You can't just take it. It's illegal.
Just cut its head off and take the antlers.
Like, look what I got. Oh, yeah. Another successful hunting trip. So you fucking
throw it in the back.
It's like always like half zombified deer head. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, it took me a long time to get it out of the woods. Yeah.
I went in there and killed it with my bare hands.
You didn't have your gun with you. Yeah, I just wrestled it. I choked it out.
Like steer. He grew up in the rodeo.
Yeah,
some steer wrestling.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get into our question for today, which I'm also excited about, before the show, before us recording this show today, I went to one of my favorite spots that was between my house and the studio, and that's Zips. Fucking Zips, man. And if you're not familiar with Zips, you have something in your area that's very similar. It's just like it's a greasy fucking gut bomb hamburger situation.
I feel like we've talked about this about every 3 episodes. Talk about Zips.
I know Zips is just a part of my life. It's ingrained in my culture. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So if you've listened, I've told stories about Zips before in the past. One of which that is always one of my favorites. I was going through the drive-through and there was a lifted truck in front of me, and I'm pointing that out because it's not just your standard lift. It is the truck that you see it and you immediately go, probably not going to get along with this guy. He just does everything about his vehicle is a fucking issue. And I knew he was going to be a problem the second I got there. But I was behind him in line, and the teenage worker handed him his food. And this is the same guy that threw it back through the window and said, "I said no fucking pickles." And I was like, what just happened? So that happened at Zips. Today, I'm sitting inside because I had time to enjoy my meal. I didn't have to eat on the road. And as I'm sitting down, there's a gentleman sitting next to me. And I think he looked like a construction worker. And I knew this because he was wearing like a bright green yellow vest. And he had a tool belt and had a slow sign.
Like he was in a Village People.
Yeah. It was either construction worker or like village person.
Was there a naked Indian close by?
He was in the back. He was in the restroom.
Okay.
I don't know what he was doing in there. He was using the teepee. Oh shit.
Oh, that's how we roll.
That's how we roll. I get it. So he's sitting next to me, and I'm enjoying my hamburger. Cheese, no mayonnaise.
How could you
no
not?
mayonnaise, no mustard. Yeah. And I know I'm going to regret it later, and I already have. But he's sitting there, and then all of a sudden, House of Pain starts playing. Like full volume.
Oh, like boom, boom, boom,
pack it up, pack it in.
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom.
Here, I pulled it up because I knew we were going to talk about this. If you don't know what this song is, I don't know where you've been, but here you go. Come on. It's just like
such a weird sound.
This isn't it.
No, that's not
This is it.
There it is. Let me begin. I won't believe, but I don't need. That's a sin.
I won't ever slack up. Punk, you better back up. Try and play the role and you're the whole crew will act up.
So,
get up, stand up, come on, throw your hands up. If you got the feeling, throw your
something on the
hamburger across the ceiling.
Oh,
No fucking pickles.
no fucking pickles. So this starts playing. Well, I'm like, oh, he must be watching a TikTok video or something. No, it never stopped. This guy sat there. I don't know if he was watching the music video, but the entire song played at full volume while he just ate his hamburger and looked at his phone. And I'm like, is this fucking happening right now? And it was so loud. Just jump around. Dipping his fries and just blasting House of Pain. And it wasn't just like me and him. It was pretty full.
Yeah.
And he just had no idea, did not pay attention to his surroundings, completely oblivious.
Now, is there significance to him being a construction worker?
No, I just thought that was I was just making a joke because he looked 100% like a construction worker. He was wearing every single thing that you picture someone standing on a road, like roadside construction doing.
Like you're like, oh, what? I need a costume for Halloween for a construction worker.
Yeah. Like the only thing he was missing if he was like wearing his hard hat.
Yeah.
Like every other piece of the whole outfit was there. And
Did he have a tool belt on?
No, but he was like, he was just like...
Wait, what kind of construction? So like
road work.
Okay, so not like a house framing type of guy.
I guess I should have said that. But yeah, 100% was just getting back from doing some highway work.
Because you can construct a lot of things.
Yeah, you could do a lot of that. You could call yourself a construction worker and you're at home building a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was it. I just thought that was really funny because House of Pain, out of all songs, I didn't realize was so annoying until I was trying to eat a hamburger.
It's funny. Yeah. That's actually kind of, oh man, you just opened up a can of worms.
Oh?
The idea of certain songs, how they're only good for certain things.
Situations?
Yeah, like I don't just sit at home listen to
Right.
But if you go to a club
and
that's playing, you're just kind of like you're standing around bobbing your head or whatever, or you're dancing or whatever. But I'm not annoyed by that music if I'm at, let's say, a club or something. But if I was just at anywhere else, if I'm at Zips eating a hamburger and it's just going
I'm blue, blah, blah, dee, blah,
I'm gonna be like, what the fuck is this playing for?
Or just baking some cookies, listening to house music. I don't know why that's so funny to me.
Yeah.
Just fucking yeah.
And then I'll pick the pulse up, feeling fucking amping a joke. And I got more rhymes than this cops that are drunk.
It's so funny. Here we go.
Jump around.
What's that? Cause they never eat a pig because a pig is a cop, but he get a Terminator like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I would love if every now and again he just like mumbled some of them. It's like never
like
is a cop.
Like my name was
Sega Genesis. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. Are you ready to get to our opening question?
I guess that was fun.
Right, that was fun. All right, let's do it.
Hey, shut up! Start the show already.
Real quick,
yeah,
I was just thinking about how funny it would be to be at like a monster truck event, and like, here comes Gravedigger, and then Kenny G's like,
wake me up when September ends.
Imagine like all the people like, what the hell's all this shit?
What the shit, bro? What's the other one? Fork in the Road.
What's that?
By Green Day. Oh, and what? Another, I don't know the official name of it.
Yeah, well, I'm terrible at song title names. I can sing every song, but...
Okay, well, I was going to start singing it, but there's no way you're going to know what I was going to sing at this point. You will 100% know this one. Here you go.
The fucking... Oh, yeah.
Oh, Time of Your Life.
Yeah, this was our graduation song.
It's not a question, not a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. Live.
So there. If that at a monster truck rally.
Hey, you do have a time of your life at a monster truck.
That's true. This question, it's just straight from my brain, and I hope that you find it as funny as I did. Would you rather have to ride a bike everywhere?
Oh, this is from you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you have to sing John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt while having sex or masturbating.
Oh my god!
And you know how John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt goes, right?
His name is my name too.
Whenever we go out, people always shout, and it just gets louder and louder and louder the longer the song goes. So the longer the sex, it starts at a whisper.
So I've never actually heard the song. I've only heard people imitate or sing it.
I think it's kind of just like a nursery rhyme or folk tune, if you will, a classic, a banger,
true classic.
But yeah, I'm sure there's clips of people reading it. But yeah, it starts and it just gets louder and louder and louder every time you go through it. So as the sex lasts longer and longer, or you're masturbating, which when you are masturbating, sometimes obviously easier to get there than other times. Sometimes it just takes a little bit longer. And in this case, you're getting really frustrated and having to scream John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Which, that visual kills me. When you're already mad, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt! His name is my name too! But you get to start with like a John Jacob.
And then you're like, okay, yeah, this is good.
La 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 John Jacob. Yeah.
And then you're just screaming it by the end of it.
Yeah.
Fucking John Jacob, god damn it!
Oh yeah, or having sex could be the best sex of your life by the end of it. You're just like, if you time it right, you get to end at like the perfect, like on before it loops.
Yeah.
So you can come on the, if you time it right. But if you come like on the, people always shout, like you don't get it right, you're going to sound like a lunatic. And no one wants that. You at least want to finish your verse. Or you have to.
Imagine, I'm picturing the other person that you're having sex with.
His name. What if his name better be John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt?
That's what I was going to say. Like, what are the odds of his name also being Jingleheimer Schmidt?
Or it's like something close. It's like Joe Joshua Jingleheimer Schmidt. Jingleheimer Smith.
Jingleheimer Smith. Joe Johnson Jingleheimer Smith.
His name is my name too.
What are the odds of that?
What are the odds? This is true love. Look,
it was
hear me
meant
out.
to be.
Hear me out. I have this thing where I gotta say this, and you are the closest to this we're ever gonna get. Yeah, soulmates right there. Or have to ride your bike everywhere. Which I picture someone you'd have to, you dressed up in biking gear all the time is how I picture this guy. But you know, I don't know. I always picture restaurants, but you're sitting at a restaurant and you can't walk anywhere. It's like, oh shit, I gotta use the bathroom. Okay, 1 second. You stand up and clip it, clip it on your bike, and then you have to ride your bike to the bathroom.
Okay,
because you can't. Everywhere you go,
okay,
you have to have a fucking bike.
That makes it harder because I was visualizing. I got to go to the grocery store or I got to go like on vacation. I was thinking, oh, we're going to Spain. So
when are we going? When are we going to Spain?
Whenever.
Okay, let's go. Go ahead.
Let's leave right now.
Let's get out of here.
So like you got to figure out a way to cross the ocean, whether that's you're riding on a cargo ship or you have to figure out some invention to drive across the water, basically, or be Jesus.
Have a paddle boat bike thing.
But yeah, so I was thinking like just that, but you mean like everywhere, like if you just get up and walk into the living room, you have to ride a bike.
You have to ride your bicycle. But it's just, for just moving, if you get to sit and you can stand, but if you, Zips coming back up. If you're going anywhere, it has to be on a bicycle.
So you're getting up to go masturbate and you have to ride your bike to do
while
it.
singing John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. That's a funny scene in a grocery store where you're like, excuse me, ding, ding, ding. Like you bring, what the fuck? And you just,
gling, gling.
Excuseies. On your left.
But trying to carry all this, anything you do, having to ride and carry.
You have to have a little basket on the front. And you can have they have those little bike trailers you could get by with loading up a baby carrier with some Eggos.
Imagine this. You go to like a 5K, like a cancer 5K, and everyone's walking, but you're riding a bike. Like there's a crowd of people. You're like, excuse me, excuse me.
First again.
You have to ride through. You win every time.
First again by 6 hours. Hey, gotcha. World record. You could probably break a world record if there's any positive in there for most amount of time on a bicycle.
Oh, true.
But yeah, everywhere. Waking up in the middle of the night, have to go to the bathroom. You're like, God damn it.
Banging into the wall.
So tired. If they put your clip
you have to turn the light on, your bike light on.
You have a lit path. Little LED lights.
Yeah.
Shows you how to bike in when you dismount off your bicycle. But I mean, that's pretty bad. Obviously, everywhere on a bike. But I mean, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, you're just going to have to marry someone who's deaf. That's the only way that this might ever work out.
Or have money.
I don't know if $1 billion would ever make you just never have sex. You'd be screaming by yourself with a bunch of money masturbating to John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
I'm sure you could find somebody that'd be willing to marry you for the money to put up with that.
Just picture it.
Picture
this close, just John Jacob.
Okay. You know what's way worse? It's people like Anna Nicole Smith marrying a 90-year-old, having sex with a 90-year-old man, waiting for him to die to get his money.
I'm not sure if that's worse than John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Okay, Brad Pitt. Since we always talk about Brad Pitt on the show, Brad Pitt wants to have sex with you. You have to have sex with a guy. Brad Pitt singing John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt having sex with you, or a 90-year-old man having sex with you, but you get his money.
But he's quiet, and you get his money. Yep. That's going to be terrible. So I don't care how hot you are, dude. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt is going to ruin the mood. I don't even. That sounds like PTSD. And then your luck, you'd never be able to come unless someone's screaming John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt at you. Mm-hmm. Like that's just a fetish that you would develop. I think you get some good exercise. Yeah, I might have to move some furniture in my house, but I'm going to go with riding my bike everywhere. It also sounds kind of funny and fun everywhere. Like I'm going out to go get a glass of water. You just hop on your little bicycle.
It sounds fun for a while.
So does John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. But you can lay down and at least have sex and jerk off. At least you have that going for you.
I do know that whole thing about like some days it's just like you just you start going, you're like, wow, I'm done. Now I have spare time. Mm-hmm. And there's some times where you're just like, you're going along, you have to stop. And you're like, come on. And you're like sweating and tired. But
what is wrong with you?
But you have to keep going. Otherwise, it's
Give yourself
just
blue
like,
balls.
Yeah, you're going to be uncomfortable. So you're like, now you're not even doing it for the enjoyment. You're just like, I have to.
You're proving a point.
Yeah, you're like, I just have to get this done now.
This is a task that I must check off my list. I don't even fucking want to do this.
And it was like, after it's over, you're just like, you're just relieved. You're not even like, oh, that was nice.
Okay, so you're going to pick the John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt? That's what you're going to do? You just have to do that every time you masturbate. I love the idea you will never be able to just throw a jerk anonymously sneak away and throw a jerk because
they'll know what you're doing because you're singing the song.
So like the first of it kind of muffled. Your wife's like, God damn it. Because like eventually you starts hearing it just more and more John Jacob like through the bedroom door taking a shower. Like you'd have to sing it all the time even when you're not masturbating just so you can get away with it when you are.
Dude, imagine going to like a sperm clinic and they're like, you need to go in there and give a sample and everyone's in the waiting room and you're just in there, John Jacob. And then you come out and hand over here you go. And they're like, what the hell was that?
Here you go for John Jacob.
Mr. Jingleheimer Schmidt.
He's in.
And next in line we have a Mr. Dingleheimer Smith. Whoa, his name is almost your name too.
Get in here, buddy. I get it. Okay, so I'm going with the bike.
I'll go with the bike too.
Okay.
Just because, like, if it's just a bicycle where it's you get on go, if you have to clip in every time like a road bike, it's just a bike. Yeah,
you could have a variety of bikes for different situations. You could have a tiny little like funny clown bike. And that's just like going to the bathroom.
Well, they have those little
tricycle.
mini bikes.
Yeah, I got a tricycle. Yeah. Electric bike. Does that count? Okay, let's move on and figure out what
It's your question. I don't know
what you're thinking about.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, babe?
What are you thinking about?
Nothing. Actually, you know what? I'm thinking about a lot of shit.
What are you thinking about?
Joe, you know what I'm thinking about?
Tell me what you're thinking about. I have a feeling it has to do with the Mariners.
You're goddamn right it does. And the Guardians. The Guardians in the playoffs.
Guardians are in there too.
We got to say this. We got to frame this. The time of recording this, the playoffs start tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which will be almost a week from when this comes out. So the Mariners could have won the series and moved on, or they could have lost. Mm-hmm. But I think either way, I'm happy because they finally goddamn made the playoffs after 21 years.
God, it's such a long time.
And it actually makes you really sad because it's been 21 years. My dad and I would talk about Mariners all the time in sports and stuff. And of course, the year that they make it, he passes away a couple months before they make the playoffs, and it's just something that we would have been trying to go to these playoff games together and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, it made me think about how goddamn long ago that was. It was 2001, which is 21 years. I was a senior. I had just graduated high school.
I was a freshman or the first half of sophomore year in high school. Was what I was doing in 2021. That's so long ago.
That was almost the 90s.
I know, and we were joking around about this before the show because I feel the same way about the fucking Browns because it was only 2 years ago they snapped a 26-year playoff. Like they had made it to the playoffs before, but they had never won a playoff game in 26 fucking years, and they beat the Steelers that year, and it was they finally got that monkey off their back. That's so nuts. That's like what 94, 96. That's insane. That's so long ago.
God, who was even the quarterback for the Browns back then?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. I could not tell you off the top of my head.
But that
I think Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh yeah, that's a good guess.
Thanks.
But also the Brown. That was something happened with Tim Couch that year too. That year they won in 2001. Something happened with Tim Couch. I forget.
Okay.
Anyway, I just thought it was funny, like how long ago it's been. I'm really fucking jacked. I'm excited whether they win or lose. I wanted to win, obviously. I'll go nuts. But it got me thinking about like things that happened in 2001. And when you put it in perspective, so how long it's fucking been since they made it in there. Like I said, it was almost the goddamn 90s. This was new metal, was thrashing, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
George W. had just became the president.
Fun. I remember that.
Like, think about how long ago that was. He just became president.
I know, it seems like a lifetime ago.
Yeah. 9/11 happened.
What was that?
It was
like the phone number was invented?
The TV show 911.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Great show.
Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do.
That's what it was. No,
William
9/11.
Shatner.
Man, that was crazy. I remember my my entire high school shut down. Everyone was just watching TVs for the entire day. It was no class. They made us move classrooms for whatever reason.
They thought you were next.
I have no idea.
Your high school,
but like when the periods ended or whatever, they would make us go to the other class, but there was never class. It was just sitting there and we were just watching TV.
Did they roll in one of those TVs? Was it a roll TV?
Yeah, my Spanish class did. And
was it on Telemundo?
No, it was in English.
Think about this. They're
only-
like, okay, we're going to watch the news, but it has to be in Spanish because we still have to learn.
That'd be so terrifying. What is happening? Well, if you paid attention in class,
Yeah,
you'd
you
know
would
the
understand.
threat.
This
You would
is-
know how dangerous this is. Like, I'm sorry, but
Maybe
please.
you shouldn't have been talking in class. No
Lo
outline.
siento. Okay, so yeah, that was weird. What else
Yeah.
was going on in 2001?
Dale Earnhardt died.
Fuck.
Remember
okay,
that?
I do. That crash always bums me out. It's like, he shouldn't. That's
When you see it, you're like, how did he die?
I
You see
know.
way worse. I mean, I get it now with the safety stuff they had back then, but when you see that, you're like, I've seen way worse.
and it's like nothing happened.
Dude, Carl Edwards ended up in the frickin' net flipping around, pieces flying everywhere. He hopped out and had a big smile on his face.
I know. So yeah. Anyway, okay. What else happened?
Remember Aaliyah?
Do I?
She died.
Oh my God. Do you remember that Aaliyah song? It had the baby voice in it. 1 second, bringing it up.
I don't remember any Aaliyah songs.
Are you that somebody? You're gonna know this if I.
This was Aaliyah?
Oh, you ready right here?
Is that really a baby?
Yes, it's
No,
a baby.
that sounds like a synthesizer.
No, it's a little baby cute baby girl. Where's the rap guy?
Is this that song?
Oh, here we go.
Baby girl, I'm the man from the big B. Hey, what you gonna play round my way? And listen to what I gotta say.
Switchblade musical. Anyway, man, I haven't heard that song in so long. So her. If you were
Yeah.
like, who the fuck's Aaliyah?
Yeah. I remember the name Aaliyah. I just didn't remember any of her songs.
Okay.
Adult Swim debuted.
Still amazing. Still love it.
Still going. Mm-hmm. And remember Anthrax?
Dude, 2001 was a shit show.
Yeah, dude. Everyone's talking about 2020. Friggin' this.
Okay.
Barry Bonds broke the home run record.
Sure
remember
did.
that?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's relevant because
people treat him now like he didn't fucking exist.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it.
at the time, nobody knew the
steroids were
stuff.
going running rampant through the MLB. So I don't know.
I'm sorry, it just made the game more exciting.
I know. I've talked about it before. I think there should be a clean league and then a steroid league.
If you want to
for
be
every sport, and you can watch the boring version,
Yeah.
or the super huge health risk version.
I'm watching that one.
Of course we are. It'd be so much more fun.
Their careers will be much a lot of them.
If all football players were allowed to use as many steroids as they wanted, let's just see how things go. Dude, it'd be a fucking disaster. An amazing roid rage disaster. How many unnecessary, what's it called? Unnecessary fucking goddamn roughness. How many calls would that be if you had nothing but a steroid league?
Do you remember the game Blitz?
Do I remember the game?
It's coming back.
I have it on my Xbox at home.
Yeah.
Because you can that game, oh geez. I don't
Imagine
even
a
want to get
real
into
life version of that where that plays over and you're just jumping and like kicking.
Yeah,
Dude, they're
that?
coming back with that game and you can't do any of that stuff.
Why are they even bringing it back
Because it's too violent.
Oh.
I know that's the whole point of the game.
That was the game.
You tackle somebody and then everyone would pile on the guy.
And do you remember how bad the graphics were on that game?
Yeah, boxy.
Dude, it was so bad.
Well, I
but
played
the
it on
gameplay,
N64.
Gameplay was so fun. It was such a fun game.
You had Michael Vick. You just run all over the field.
Just run the bomb was the play.
The bomb, yeah.
That was all you needed. Okay, what else happened?
Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, the first movie came out.
All right.
Richard Reed attempts to light a shoe bomb. Remember the shoe bomber?
Yeah. Do you remember my Switchblade story?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't he on an airplane?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought if I just brought that up and it had nothing to do with airplanes, I'd be like, oh, fuck me. It's like, I think that's the guy. Fucking Dick Reed.
Dick Reed. Yeah.
iTunes
What was
the
introduced.
fuck?
I know.
Okay. Billy, that is so long ago.
Billie Eilish was born.
She's doing pretty well for herself.
She's doing all right.
Yeah.
And then
rounding out the list.
rounding out the list. Food.
Nailed it.
How come? Okay,
I don't know.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and then I want to have a question about it. I'm just thinking about it because the way I said it. Foot and mouth disease is found in the UK after 20 years.
All right.
So that happened. I just threw that in there for a little fun, a little bit of comedy.
Sure.
But then I said foot, but then I was thinking about how come like boot is pronounced boot, B-O-O-T, but foot is spelled exactly the same way except as an F and a B.
Couldn't tell you.
And it's foot.
I know. There's so many of those that make absolutely no sense.
Next week, I want to do a thing. We're just talking about the English language.
Okay.
And
All
how
right.
much it sucks.
Let's do it. I'm looking forward to it because there's so many fun examples
I'm
out
gonna
there.
lose my goddamn mind.
Well, that's a long time. I'm happy for you. I'm happy the Mariners got in. And as we record this, I do hope that they win in advance.
You know what I want to have happen is the Mariners win and the Guardians win, and they end up in the ALCS because that happened in 1995, and they were the Indians back then, and they actually beat the Mariners to play the Braves in the World Series, and the Braves won.
I know. That was a good. Who was on? I'm trying to think of who played for the Indians that year.
Albert
was that Albert
Kenny
Bell, Lofton, Tim Thome,
Jim Thome.
Yeah. Who the fuck else was on there? Somebody else that was really good. There wasn't. Was Johnny whatever from the Yankees?
Johnny
playing?
Damon?
Yeah, was he playing for them yet?
No,
that was later. That was like late 90s, huh?
Well, he played
that
for the
was a
Red
good year.
Sox.
Yeah, he also played for Cleveland for a little bit.
Yeah, that was Omar Vizquel.
Yeah, that's
at
right.
Shortstop. Albert Bell, Jim Thome.
Lofton.
The pitcher Charles Nagy. Those guys.
God damn it. Fuck, Tiger Blood. I'm trying to think of Major League, the movie.
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, he was the pitcher. He was the pitcher for the Indians back then.
Yep.
When did that movie come out?
I love those movies.
I know, so good. Okay, you ready to take a look at my dick?
Yep.
Okay, let's do it.
Is it dumb? Is it interesting? Is it cool? Then it's dick big.
All right, I'm about to show you my dick. Want to hear this, dude?
Jump around.
Oh yeah.
Jump up, jump up.
If this whole episode doesn't make it to YouTube, I'm sorry.
Get down.
Jump, everybody jump.
God, fucking classic, man. I tell you what. All right, so my dick. This article just cracked me up when I came across it, just because of not necessarily the article itself, but the future if this shit keeps happening. I don't have to read the entire thing. There's actually a video. You're going to get the idea of it. But a food delivery robot rolls through LA crime scene in viral video as confused cops look on. So they've shut down this intersection, right? And and just busting through the crime scene tape is a fucking food delivery robot bringing somebody some spaghetti. Just rolling through. And it fucking killed me. The robot passes a group of uninformed police officers at the scene. Of course, robot didn't call ahead. He's like, hey, coming through. Some of the cops turned around apparently perplexed at what they just watched roll by. The crime scene stemmed from an active shooter call, so it wasn't like just like a jaywalking thing at a Hollywood high school, according to the Los Angeles schools. Just before 9:45 a.m., the Los Angeles Police Department responded to a school for a report of shots being fired. In the end, the school district superintendent Alberto Carvalho said the LAPD determined the call was a hoax. Oh, good joke. And Connie, who the video shows continuing along her route, does not appear to have been charged with interfering with police.
Oh, that's funny.
It doesn't say what was in there.
The battery hopefully was charged though.
But I wish it would have told us, because for whatever the importance, the contents of this food, for whatever reason, makes it even funnier if it's like a churro. Mm-hmm. Like it's just it's like a Taco Bell, those twisty deep fried churro things, whatever they call them, and that's all that's in there. Like maybe a medium Baja Blast. and it just rolls through the crime scene. But this was so funny
Tearing
to me.
the tape down and stuff.
I know. Just excuse me. Excuses. It will even better if it was I mean, not better, but you get what I'm saying. There's a dead body in the crosswalk.
Oh God.
And this thing just goes, excuse me, and just rolls over right over the stomach. Yeah, it just keeps going. It's just like, he just has like a fucking couple slices of pizza. Excuse me, just rolls right over this dead person's head.
Or if it's like I just picture like Roomba where it goes up and it stops and it has to keep going. It's trying to find a way around
Cops
the body.
just watching it. And it freezes and like puts off an alarm. It's like, wait. Like, I'm lost. Please help. But picturing,
Reconnect Bluetooth.
Yeah, like a live, not even just an active shooting call, but like an active shooter situation, a hostage situation.
Serious situation going down.
Serious shit. Like there's this crazed guy, and I'm just gonna pick what's his Liam Neeson, Lyle Lovett, with a machine gun. He's in the house with the family, and the cops are fucking just put it down. He's like, fucking kill all! And he's screaming out the window, and then Connie just comes rolling down the sidewalk. Excuse me. Starts asking for directions.
Do you know where 5184
West Elm Street is? Excuse me, officer. Excuse me.
Johnny Five alive.
It's not our robot. Excuse me. Or what if he ordered the food? That's even funnier.
As a distraction.
He just rolls up and he's like, I'm not getting the fuck out of there. And he just orders, a burrito.
Yeah.
He just gets a nice chicken burrito. He gets nothing for his family, but has a robot bring him food.
You know, it would be kind of. Oh God, there's a lot of scenarios where there's an actual family being held hostage, and they're complaining about eating. You're like, we're hungry. He's like, fine.
I can't just go.
Yeah. So he orders that, and the robot just let the robot in.
They're hungry.
And no one will get harmed.
Questioning the robot, or you're in like an argument with your wife, where it's a whole protest and it's heated. You got the SWAT team with their shields, their riot, whatever they're called, riot shields, riot control squad on I forget their official name right now because I'm an idiot. And then this little Connie robot just rolling through with a hamburger. It's coming through with the Big Mac,
splitting.
Yeah.
As it goes through.
Excuse me.
What's kind of funny though is like the idea that whoa, shit, what was I going to say? I think I just had a stroke. I forgot what I was going to say.
That's okay. But going back to the dead body thing, a funeral would be funny.
Oh,
it's a super serious situation. Everyone's crying and this robot just comes through. Or even way in the background. I don't even care. It doesn't have to go right through it. Just 20 feet behind, just through the cemetery.
Imagine it's in a cemetery though, and it goes up and like runs into the casket, and it's like going burn, help. Someone's like talking. They have to break whatever serious thing is going on to help this rope.
Help. You help it out, and it's like thank you, and then like continues on, and he's just delivering food to the gravedigger that's like a couple plots down. He's like thank you.
He's going on his lunch break.
Yeah, it's like thanks. He just drops off a Happy Meal, which I did see that McDonald's is making new adult Happy Meal, so that's something.
Really?
Going back with that nostalgia stuff.
I think that must be happening a lot more. Those robots. I've never seen one in action, but I know that they're become more prominent. It just does seem kind of weird. This robotic thing, and I started thinking about.
I think it's fucking sweet, but yeah,
when you I would start thinking like bomb or something. That's my first thought would be this thing. There's a bomb in there, or there's a bomb squad in, because sometimes they have the robots that go in there.
It's a Trojan horse. Yeah, at all times. Yeah, so I mean, people are going to take them and fill them with shit and like have knockoff versions and put like bad stuff in it. Yeah, I mean, but they would also just do that right now. I don't know. Like you could do it right now if you wanted to.
See,
drive a robot into where you want to blow it up. No one's going to be like, stop that robot. Like, that's weird, and carry on with their life. So
I'm surprised that hasn't happened more though.
Because they're probably hard and expensive to build a fucking robot to carry a bomb.
Yeah, but
why not just go drop off a backpack and then carry on with your life? You don't have to roll it in there.
To be the first person that did that.
Do Robot Bomb Guy? Oh, he's Robot Bomb Guy.
Everyone remembers Richard Reed.
It's true.
And his didn't even go off.
He fucked it.
He wasn't even good at what he was doing, and we remember his name.
Timothy McVeigh with his sweet
He actually
bomb truck.
succeeded.
He sure did. Yeah, but I'm not scared of the robot thing. I think it's going to be great. But I do love the idea of if these robots did get stuck and they went, help, help, like a little fluctuation. That's all you got. You got to help, 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 help. And then there's multiple like birds.
Yeah.
There's so many in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
You say, help, 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 help.
They're all chirping.
Help, like they're flipped over. They're pouring like cheese, like queso is pouring out some of the slots. Help, help, help. God damn it.
We need to build a robot that goes around and lifts those things and helps those things.
Thank you. You're welcome. Help. Just your whole neighborhood with these shitty.
Picture like a park, like a giant park. People are sitting in the park wanting to eat and they're having all their food delivered to them.
Yeah.
So there's 10 robots out there all flipped over, and then there's robots that are sent out to pick up the robots.
And they're falling over. It's just like, just this cluster shit. It's so funny. Help, help. You hear these super faint cries of help, like in the woods. Help.
Well, and then it's so like if you order, like you order an Uber and there's a GPS. So if you're waiting for your food and this thing, it's just stopped. Like, what the fuck is this robot doing?
It's a happy face and it's a sad face. Yeah, you knew it fell over.
If it flips over, it turns into a sad
God
face.
damn
it. It makes your phone go like, help.
Help. Help
Send
me.
help.
Save burrito. I've got your burrito. I just need a helping hand. Anyway, that's great. All right, let's take a look at your dick.
Okay.
Please. Whip it out, buddy. What you got? What you got?
All right, this was sent in by our food fetish son, Gary.
Oh, thanks, Gary.
So he sent us a link to a thing. They're called pussy flavored potato chips.
Oh, all right. First gut reaction is no. Second reaction is all right. I'll do it. But right out the gate, I was like, that sounds terrible. But the more I think about it, how bad could it be? Does it? What's the consistency? Are you going to read a little bit about this? Should I just wait and listen to you?
Well,
let me rephrase that. Are you going to try to read a little bit about this?
Still got it. I closed the window to it.
Oh,
and I can't remember.
I'm opening it over here.
Where it is now.
It's made by a company called Chaz. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Because if there's any
some
chip
guy.
company is going to make
like a
pussy,
porn star guy.
got fucking Chaz. Chaz McGee, baby.
Chaz Johnson.
There was a guy, speaking of Chaz, I believe it's the new Dahmer show that everyone's watching. One of the characters he's a dickhead and his name's Chaz. Right, I was like, of course it is. But
if Chad wasn't douchey enough,
Chaz, baby. C-bomb. According to
C-bomb.
According to several past years' research data around the world, millennials are having 3 times less sex than their parents at the same age. It is unbelievable that someone is choosing social media instead of live communication, dating, or real sex. Chaz team is young, bold, and socially responsible. So we took the disastrous trend very personally. It's like I had dentures for a second. All right, personally, we decided to draw everyone's attention to it and thus contribute to solve the problem. This is why we came up with the idea to create a first in the world pussy flavored chips. It says the taste is brave, and it's for brave and free people. After tasting it, you'll remember your wildest love adventures, your first real love, and maybe even lose your oral virginity. Okay.
Are they made with yeast at all?
Yeast? Sure.
Because I've thought about this before.
You have regular ones and you have yeast ones.
Is it gluten free if you're eating out a woman with a yeast infection?
That's a good question. I think I know it's to be messy and probably not very fun. But I don't know technically if you're going to be able to be gluten free. You have a physical reaction.
Could you imagine something
his face swells up?
You're like, you want to get down there and munch that? He's like, sorry, I'm gluten free.
Sorry, I'm gluten free. What do you mean? Look, take a picture. You're like, show her. It's like, look at this.
Did you not know you had a massive yeast infection?
How did you not know this? Look at this. And you're zooming in on your phone. Look, look. You're like, oh, okay, fine. You do like a portrait shot. Like the fuzzy background.
Yeah.
You're like, can you look right here?
Look at that bokeh.
Look at that right there. Pussy flavored chips. So I get that it's a joke, but I am curious on how close they do taste, and I know that taste varies from person to person. I know that much.
How clean it is, or whatever. Yeah.
Sure. But I don't know. Would you try it? Would you eat these pussy chips?
I mean, if given the opportunity, I might just try one and see how it tastes. Here's my thing with food and the flavored stuff. I know there's a lot of people that like, chicken wing flavored chips or input whatever food that tastes like a chip or whatever. Or
chicken flavored Crocs,
or they're like, or bacon flavored drink.
Oh yeah, there's a mustard soda.
I love
Go fuck yourself.
I love the flavor of bacon, but what I also love about it is the consistency you get with bacon. If I'm just drinking the taste of bacon, that sounds awful.
It does sound terrible.
So if you're munching on if you're chewing on something that doesn't taste like it should, then it's weird. I get like a weird psychological thing with that. So maybe if it was like a popsicle and you're licking, then it tastes like vagine. Maybe that's better. But the chomping of a chip,
it's not the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see how close it is, but that is funny you bring that up, like just other things that are flavored for things they shouldn't be. That is funny.
Imagine other body parts, like you have a foot flavored popsicle or ice cream or something like that.
Yum.
So it tastes like your feet smell or something.
Oh man, and I don't. And this is on me. I get it. I don't know. I haven't tasted enough feet to really have a palate for foot. So if you made a foot tasting popsicle, whatever it tasted like, I'd be like, that's a foot, because I don't know. I don't know.
Something is a foot.
Something's a foot here. Something's off.
Something smells fishy.
Just can't quite put my toe on it. Can't quite put my toe on it. What is this?
What about a taint flavored burrito?
Again, I'm just not experienced enough in the taint department to really compare. Because there could be two companies making a taint burrito, and they're like, this one, the best in the biz, and the other one's like, we have the best in the biz. And if I'm tasting both taint burritos,
which one's the most authentic?
I don't know. I need to go out and explore and lake some more taints.
Oh God! I just thought of like a drink line. Let's say it's called taint. Or ball or penis, whatever. It's called the body part.
Yeah.
But then the iterations of the drink, it's like after running. Freshly
Lifting.
shorn.
Lifting.
Yeah, lifting. Out of the bath or whatever.
Drunken sleep.
It's all these all these different things. It's the same based on the same thing. It all tastes like taint, but they're all a little bit different based on what you just did.
Yeah, like taint. And then it just says like after butt sex or like butt stuff. So now it's what
it's called butt stuff.
What the taint would taste like after.
Can I have it's like ordering a Diet Coke.
Or you mix them two. You're like, you know what you need to do? You need to mix butt stuff and drunken slumber.
Dude, so like
because those two usually go
when you go to
together.
a gas station and it's like slice root beer and you go
you go suicide or whatever they call it.
Yeah. Or just like Coke. You're like, I want a vanilla Coke or a cherry Coke or raspberry Coke. So taint is the base thing. And then everything else is, I want to add a little taint. I want to add some foot fungus, all that kind of stuff.
It's like those gross jelly beans, but in liquid form. And for whatever reason, it makes it even worse. And I absolutely hate it. All right. Well, those are out there. So if you want to go buy them, you can buy Chaz's pussy chips. So, Christmas is just around the corner.
Yeah, yep.
So take a look.
Black Friday sales.
Let's hear a case. Okay. We got to figure some stuff out for Petty Beef this week. All right.
Silence in the court.
You are now entering the Petty Beef courtroom, where all sides of some bullshit will be heard and evaluated. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final-ish. This is Petty Beef.
All right, you ready to get to our case for today? For Petty Beef? Okay. Sent in by our forward, future-thinking daughter, Aubrey. She's so bright. Future so bright. I love you both, but I'll get right to the point. I like that. Like, yeah, there's some love here, but let's just get to this fucking bullshit. Let's not waste any time. Yeah. My husband enjoys playing video games, and I'm cool with it. I even find some of them fun to watch.
Awesome.
His controller is wireless, but it's always plugged in. And I've tripped on it more than a few times. I keep asking him what's the point of having a wireless controller is, or what the point of having a wireless controller is if it's not wireless. He says that he only has the one controller and he has to keep it plugged in. I call bullshit. What say you? Your correct daughter, Aubrey. Good point, but I'm kind of with the husband on this one.
Shut up.
I don't have. I don't do this anymore. I have a wireless controller, and I use my wireless controller because it's fucking wireless. However, every single time I'm done with the wireless controller, it goes back in its little case so that it charges itself for the next time, so it's always ready to go. It hasn't always been that case, and as the controllers get older and older, the battery does not last as long. So if I am fine and I don't feel like sitting on the couch, you're like, fuck, you want to stab me in the neck right now?
Yeah, I have this handy.
Well, look what I got, bro.
I get your neck before you get it.
No, but the controllers go bad. So if I was not super adamant on being able to relax and sit back on the couch,
what's the point?
I would sit because the battery, if it died, I don't have a controller anymore.
No, what's the point of not kicking back and playing a video game? You're going to sit uncomfortably on the floor?
No, but I'll sit in a chair or on the coffee table so that the wire will reach. Because if the controller goes out, my whole night of video games is ruined. I guess you could just get up and plug it back in and be like, okay, I'm going to start on the couch. But then once this controller dies mid-game and I get mad about it, then I'll go deal with it and plug it in and sit on the coffee table.
Yeah, and I've done that. But I think you just have to be better at when you leave, then I plug it in, and then the next day you're ready to go, and then it's plugged in.
And I think this could be a very quick case for us. But Aubrey, with Christmas coming up, I'd get the pussy chips, okay, and then just tell us how they are. And the other one is get a controller charger. They make a rack where when you're done, you put it on there and it charges it automatically. Yep. So it will always be charged as long as he just puts it back on the little controller mount. A bay, whatever it's called, a base, charging base. But it'll rest it, it'll hold it and charge it. So that's a great gift because then you'll stop tripping over the controller and he won't have to worry about it because every time he picks it up, it'll be fully charged.
Yeah, you were kind of going what I was just going to say. So I think she needs to take it into her own hands. Mm-hmm. You get something like that. So, and if you're sitting down there watching him play video games, you're tripping over the cord. If you're already down there, you just need to tell him when he's done, make sure to throw it on the charger. Even if you don't buy one of those racks, you say, make sure you get it on the charger. And then the next day when he goes to play, it's all charged up, ready to go. Mm-hmm. And then when he's down there playing a video game, so you could remind him, hey, make sure you put it back on the charger. So that's how she could take it into her own hands and make sure that he's charging it.
Or he's a grown-ass man, and he should know that he needs to charge his fucking controller.
I agree with you, but you can't always count on... That's the whole... My wife always forgets to lock her car. We were just talking about this. Yeah. So what I do is I go and make sure that it's locked. So instead of me nagging her to make sure it's locked and her hating me and resenting me for doing that, I just make sure it's locked myself, so then I don't have to nag her to do it. And wives do that kind of shit all the time, and husbands, everyone back and forth. So... to limit her stress and her tripping over, he may not change, so she's got to do that.
You need to change. If you want this marriage to last, or I guess whatever it is, boyfriend.
That's the whole thing, though, right? Like, if you have a problem with something, you can't always expect that person to change. You have to change your expectations.
Well, what is and Aubrey's watching, what is she doing walking in front so often to trip over the cord?
Yeah, because that would piss me off, too.
Sit the fuck down, Aubrey.
I'm trying to play a game here.
What are you doing? What do you need over there right now?
Yeah.
And why are you walking in front of him? Are you doing it on purpose to get in his way and make him mad?
To prove a point? You being dramatic?
Yeah, are you being dramatic, Aubrey? No, but just get a charger. Get a little charging stand. It's going to save everything. Or just tell your husband to fucking remember to plug it in. You know what? He just has one of those weird fears where he's always scared of something like being dead.
I get that. I totally get that. I have 2 little kids, and before I actually did go out and get one of those tower chargers, before we did that, the controllers were dead all the time. And so I would have to go, kids would play, I'd have to go down there and plug them in, and they'd be sitting right in front of the TV. So I get that, but I came up with a solution to do that and then made sure that they put them on the charger. So that's what I'm telling her to do. Because then it solves your own personal problem with it. Even if they don't fix themselves.
You could bait him with stuff too. I mean, you could be like, hey, no sex. If I trip over this wire one more time, no more sex for the rest of your life. Yeah. Like, keep it simple at first.
Right.
And just threaten with no sex ever again. That's where you start. And we'll go up from there. More violent things, like I'm going to stab you in the neck. That's maybe next after the sex thing. But yeah, you could have a little reward system for him. Like, good job. You used your wireless controller today. Here's a Dorito. Or something.
A Dorito? Just a single. Here's a pussy Dorito.
Here's a pussy flavored Dorito. Aw, thanks, babe.
Shouldn't have.
You really shouldn't have.
This is disgusting.
Knock it off. This is terrible. he would like purposely never unplug it if the reward was a pussy flavored Dorito chip.
I think we need to create a show that's basically like that. Wasn't there a nanny show where she'd go in and teach the people how to like be parents?
Oh,
or
yeah.
there's like the dog whisperer guy. We need
Mary
to start.
Poppins?
We need to start going into married couples' houses and setting them up
for success.
For success.
Like, oh, here's what you got to do.
No,
trust me,
dude. It's like house find. It's like one of these house shows.
Oh yeah,
but it's like we do it for relationships, and we just give great advice.
I feel like my credibility's ruined.
I could be on HGTV.
All right, you have to do this one alone. Or you have to find a new partner because no one's going to trust me with this advice.
Well, that could be the thing. You have perspective.
I know what you don't do.
That's good. Everyone needs perspective.
All right, let's look at some good news because we weren't able to get to this last week, but it is amazing. Okay.
Okay.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Hooray, we aren't doomed.
With Halloween coming up, this story is sad, but, also shows that there's good people out there that don't only think about themselves. Here's the headline. It says, young boy with terminal brain cancer gets his wish granted as community celebrates Halloween early. So, unfortunately, for this young boy, he's got terminal brain cancer. But Halloween came early for the Crown Point community in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. This year, as residents whipped out their scariest outfits to throw an early Halloween parade for one very special boy. Young Alexandros Herdicus watched with wonder as his parents, Nick and Kyra, carried him past witches, zombies, Ghostbusters characters, English Bulldog Ruby from the Paw Patrol, and a lot more decked out folks on their street last week. According to the CBC, the early Halloween event was organized in honor of the 5-year-old Alex's wish to see monsters and visit a haunted house before brain cancer claimed his life.
So, did they get candy? Or?
I don't know. It didn't say. I'm not sure if that's part of it. But I just
see
love
the other kids going, candy.
Yeah, he got a parade.
Yeah.
How come I don't get a parade, mommy?
Parade.
It's just, it's sad. You go on as the cancer progressed. It went from like maybe a chance to completely terminal. But I love when the community sees something and you just hear a 5-year-old be like, I want to see monsters and go to a haunted house. And then everybody in town is like, fuck yeah, you do. And they do this for them. And that's just, that's what this segment's all about, is bringing in, because it's all, it feels like it's all bad shit, but it's not. There's, and sometimes there's bad stuff, but also, a silver lining of bringing a community together, like it did on the story right here. So just want to bring that in.
You just hear about these little teeny kids dying of cancer and stuff, and it's just,
I know,
they never even had a chance to get going.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got these skis bags just out there living their life,
doing everything they could do to get cancer and die. Yeah, and they make it to 100.
Yep,
I know.
And then you have a kid that's just wants to have a Halloween party.
I know. Wants to see some monsters. It's like, fuck. Okay, well, we did find something, or I didn't find something funny, but one of our sons did. I'm going to show that to you right now. You ready, Brian?
The internet is pretty wild. Depending on your browsing habits, you can either experience something super cool or go to prison. Crazy, right? Let's check it out together as a couple. Hey, look what I found.
Yes! That's awesome!
All right, this was found by our silly son, Danny. And Danny, he's so gosh dang silly.
Oh, what a little
class clown.
Whippersnapper.
Little whippersnapple. Snapper.
Snapple?
Sorry. So, if you go to Facebook, the page is called Your Childhood Ruined. So you may have been on here, but what they do is they make funny, basically, book covers. And they look like they're classic books that we all would have got when we were kids, but they just have funny titles and pictures. So you have to thumb through these, but some of them, like the one I see right now, it has like a Dr. Seuss book with some clouds and it says solid, liquid, or gas. What will come out of my ass? Clean up your shit. And it has the Berenstain Bears. This other one just has Grover sat in the rain. It says fuck my life.
And then instead of saying Sesame Street, it says things will suck if I grow up.
Mm-hmm. Let's shit in the woods. It just has a bear. So it just takes like these funny books or these old books. I think they might be actual titles of books and then tweaks them into other ones.
The long and treacherous path to mediocrity. And then there's a little bunny rabbit that says you're fucked.
Obviously a space book and it says you're the biggest piece of shit in our solar system.
Eat my thoroughbred, asshole.
Oh man, it's so good. So yeah, we can sit here and read them all. I'm too busy not giving a flying fuck about you. This has Big Bird skipping through the woods. Who the fuck mixed papers and plastics? It's a book about recycling. So anyway, we could go on and read these forever, but we're not going to. But Danny found this, and we've been trying to get it on the show for a while. So it's on Facebook, and it's called Your Childhood Ruined. Go and check it out. All right, we're going to hear from...
That's pretty funny.
I know, there's some really good ones in there.
Doesn't my anal discharge smell healthy?
Okay, let's hear from some of our kids. You ready to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
My neck, my back, my pussy will attack.
All right, let's hear what you guys think.
Really? You want to talk to me? Wow, that's cool.
Brian? Mm-hmm? We have a physical child abusing son, John, who wrote into to the show.
You?
No, not me.
Okay.
Not this time. Says, hey, dads, while we're on the topic of child abuse, well, that's such a funny way to open a letter. I need to share my story. One of these warm summer days, we decided it'd be fun to play with water balloons. The kids were having fun just throwing them in the air and watching them pop in the driveway while my wife and I threw them at each other. After a while, we gave the kids popsicles, and we were all hanging out enjoying them. I watched as our puppy Scooby snuck up behind my 1-year-old son, and I knew he was going to try and steal his popsicle. I just yelled,
trying to get
no!
a Scooby snack.
Yeah. I just yelled, no! As loud as I could, and threw a water balloon at him as hard as I could. Well, it turns out I don't have great aim because I blasted my son in the face. He fell to the ground crying, soaking wet, and Scooby made off with the popsicle.
Scooby!
Anyway, love the show, guys. Keep up the good work. John.
That is
a fucking classic dad move.
Yep.
Yeah, just 100%. Just the whole situation. All you did was make it worse, and you.
I just love the visual of you doing that. It's one thing that you hit your kid in the face, and now you're dealing with that. But then you just see the dog like trotting off with
Thank
it.
You
know.
Yeah. Thanks, you big dumb idiot.
I just picture what's Gary Busey walking down. You see my little dog, Scooby,
Scooby. Okay, so this next one's coming in from our snitchiest daughter, Katie. Telling on her little tattletale. Just listen to the latest episode and the story of the listener yeeting his 2-year-old baby into a snowy parking lot, reminding me of my husband's bad track record of keeping our kids safe. Okay, I remember this email now. When my daughter was 2, she fell backwards off of a slide and broke her collarbone. My husband was watching her, or actually not watching her when it happened. She was fine, but he beat himself up over this for months, and that was incident number 1.
He just started punching himself.
He's like, you're such a bad dad! 3 years later, he was watching our 6-month-old son. He wanted to take our son to the garage with his playpen so he could work on his truck while he was babysitting. If it's your kid, it's not babysitting, but that's still funny. So he has a fully assembled playpen on one hand, our son in the other hand, and he steps down onto a concrete step leading into the garage. And by steps down, I mean he completely misses the step, trips on his own flip-flops, drops the playpen, and catapults our son in the air. The baby hit the front grill of the truck and then bounced onto the concrete floor of the garage.
Oh my God.
And it says, he died 3 days later. JK, baby was fine. What if that's where it ended?
Yeah.
He died 3 days later. Love the show, guys. Wouldn't change a thing. Your daughter, Katie.
3 out of 5
First
stars.
time listener. Or first time caller, whatever it is. Baby's fine. After the EMTs and firemen checked him out, they told my husband the baby's bounced really well, like really, really well. The ER doctor told us the same thing.
What a weird thing. Back is what they.
These are they're rubber balls. These fucking
pretty
babies.
funny. It's like, babies.
Babies. They bounce like a bouncy
You throw
ball.
them down, they just bounce. They keep bouncing.
He's like, here, check this out, and just throws your kid. He's like, yeah, look how bouncy this is.
I'll prove it to you.
Prove it to you. It's like a little meter. He's like, watch, and your baby bounces 1 foot up. He goes, told you, it's a bouncy ass baby. My son is now.
Could you imagine if you went to the doctor and they had to do a bounce test?
Bounce test.
And
his ears look good.
Yeah, he's
say
like,
he say and then one more thing, and he spikes your baby into the floor,
and then he goes, now normal baby, like the bell curve.
Ooh, he's sick.
It's like it should bounce to here, but you're the 1%.
You're the 1 percentile. Your baby bounced 10 feet high.
A lot of air in that head.
It's an elastic baby. My son is now coming up on 2 years old, and he has a lazy eye and a speech delay, which we teasingly blame on my husband for bouncing him like a basketball on the garage floor. Which, I mean, the pediatrician says it's not connected, but I'll never tell my husband that.
That's so funny.
Love Katie.
Like the idea that you keep doing that. Like, God, if you wouldn't have dropped the kid, he wouldn't have a speech impediment.
Dad, stupid.
And so
Dad.
every time that he does it, he just beats himself.
You ruined.
He's like
kid.
those guys, those people that like They do the Jesus thing where they
it's like swatch their own back or whatever.
Yeah. What's that called when you're hurting yourself thing?
Self-mutilation.
Catholics do it, don't they?
I think it's called the way it's supposed to be. It's called the correct way to praise Jesus. That's what I call it.
Mm. Is that what you do?
Self-inflicted righteousness.
Well, I single John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt and whipping
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Jesus Jacob,
Mary and Joseph Schmidt. All right, so you have an email. What do you want to read for us?
That was from Katie. I don't know if you said that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we didn't really have any. Well, at the time, we didn't really have any dick content in here, so I figured I'd toss it in. Mm-hmm. This was sent in by our Balls of Steel son, Alex.
All right, let's see what happens here.
And this was based on a previous show, either last week or the week before. Okay. Speaking of getting your dick hit by shit, this one happened to me about 5 years ago. I was heading home late at night on my street bike. I was going about 45 to 50 miles an hour when this asshole decided to cross the highway. And by asshole, he means a deer.
Okay.
Amazingly, I didn't wreck, but unfortunately did not walk away without a scratch. The dent on my gas tank was made exactly by God damn it! The dent on my gas tank was made by exactly what you think. Mm-hmm. And so in the picture, they show it's like a circle in the gas tank.
Mm-hmm. God, that would hurt.
I've never experienced a pain like this before, and I hope to never again. By the way, you guys are going to be stepdads, step-granddads. Me and my wife just found out that she is pregnant with our first child.
Yay!
Super excited to be a father and hope I can be the best one I can be. Fucking love you guys. Here's some pics of the deer on the bike. And so, yeah, the bike is it's fucked up, but he killed the deer.
Well, yeah, fucking killed his dick,
and then
too.
There's just the impact that your dick would need to make to put a hole in.
He said it was swollen and purple for 2 weeks. Like that's a dick into a gas tank.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a lot of experience with feet and taints and dicks into gas tanks, but I have.
Those three things.
That's it. Everything else, I'm jack of all trades except
the holy trinity.
Those three things.
Weird things.
Yeah. But that seems so painful. God, Alex, I'm glad that you got to keep your junk.
I mean,
and to ship it away.
It's one thing to, I mean, like, I say this every time we'll put up on social media and then I never do because I'm fucking terrible at doing it. But the picture, it's a gas tank, and gas tanks they're not like super, super strong, but it's still made out of metal, you know? And there's a dent where his cack and ball
in.
Fucking ruined it, dude.
No one's ever tried to fuck a gas tank till that moment. Yeah. Now we never will. Because apparently it's not, especially if you're going 50 miles an hour, don't try to fuck a hole in your gas tank. Okay, well that's our show. I thought that was a pretty fun show. Had a good time in here.
Yep.
Again, thank you to everybody who has become a part of the gaggle. You can find a link in the episode description or go there directly if your brain can remember this URL, www.
HTTPS
/
www.patreon.com/canyoudon'tpodcast.
Mm-hmm. And then as soon as we start doing anything with our socials again, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Can You Don't Podcast. And of course, we got the YouTube channel. Sorry if this video doesn't make it to YouTube because of the fucking songs we played, but I mean,
it was worth it.
It was totally worth it.
You know what you can do you can do year-long Patreon stuff now where like if you don't want to have to worry about paying every month, you can just pay up front all year.
And you get a discount.
Yeah, you get a discount for doing it for the whole year.
Which is, I think, just do that in celebration of this.
Rock shows here in Japan. Have people shaking my hand. Favorite girl. Better known as Ali. Give me goosebumps and high feet. Make it play haters. Believe. Don't you know?
Oh, we still need to put a thing in there, like some milestone stuff.
That's true.
When we hit 200, we need to get some ideas of what we should do.
I like it. We'll do that. Head over there and support us. It is the number one way that you can make sure Can You Don't keeps going. Sending in those confessions. Again, we'll do a confessions next week.
We need a producer because Joe's computer sucks and he has to edit.
I have to edit all these episodes. And yeah, it takes a ton of time. So please just get us on Patreon so we can tire somebody. Please. Send in emails, confessions, petty beef, whatever to heyguys@canyoudon'tpodcast.com. All right. I have just a thought for you on the back end of the show. You want to hear it?
I guess.
I guess so. Boo.
Good God. Wrap it up already, huh?
And I've had this thought in the past, but it's been a while, and then I just came across it again. I just want to ask you a question. Everybody out there, Brian, kids, tell me what's going on with this. How come airports don't have small movie theaters for layovers?
Ooh, that's not a bad idea.
Portland has one.
Oh,
It's
really?
the only one I know of. Portland has a small little movie theater, but you could purposefully find layovers in places just so you could go watch a movie. Have baller releases, like all the stuff. And there'd be show times. Obviously, like you'd have to walk in on sometimes movies are already playing because you're not going to get there all at the same time. But you could have a couple different bays, little theaters, and play some movies for people.
Well, I mean, based
have
off
food, drink, the whole thing.
Based on that logic, you could say, why are there not clowns, or why is there not like a magic show?
Well, yeah, but movie theaters is actually practical. I'd love to sit down and watch a movie.
Are actually practical.
They're not. Fuck magic shows over a movie theater.
No, you
Get out
said
of here.
is. I was saying are. Movie theaters are practical.
Gotcha.
I was just trying to give you shit based on the joke
Right,
from
earlier.
earlier. Yeah, I mean, shit. Put a magic show in there too, and then maybe you got something.
How come all airports don't have roller coasters? That's what
room.
Oh yeah, there's that too. I've always thought that it'd be weird. I wish I lived in a world where you could get to work in a roller coaster.
That'd be pretty sweet.
A whole town that it's a thriving economy, but it also happens to be a theme park.
Well, I mean, they have trains.
I know, but
which is basically a roller coaster.
A super lame one. Worst roller coaster
A train
ever.
that has a huge drop.
Just do a loop or corkscrew in a fucking train.
People vomiting all over the place.
No, but think about that. How much fun would it be? Because I know Disney's making these themed neighborhoods. Have you read about that? Where like the whole thing will be a Toy Story neighborhood, and you can move in, and everything's like a normal families living there, but it's themed like
So
movies
it's like
that they have.
a suburb,
That's
but
themed.
it's like Lego suburb.
Cinderella, yeah, whatever. So why not a city that just was you'd be walking down the street, you're like, I guess I got time to do a fucking panic plunge or whatever. Like it's not, they're all spaced out throughout town. You don't have to wait in line for anything. You just go hop on a roller coaster and take off. Like, oh, well, that bar's on the other end of this roller coaster and you got to get on it. It takes you over there.
I get how exciting that would be, but good God.
Be blasted.
The work that would go into that and the planning.
Yeah.
Imagine being the city planner for that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably get excited though. Like, this is something different.
Yeah.
I'm not just finding a place for a library.
It'd be hard not to have like flying things off the roller coaster kill a bunch of people in the streets, but that's a risk I'm willing to take.
I mean, the population's too high anyway.
It's true. Take people out with pennies for roller coasters. That's what I always say. All right, guys, that's episode 17. We'll see you next week. Be good, kids. Love you.